Hello to everybody. To stop insanity coming in at this time of the incarceration, for want of a better word, I've written a little quiz. If you'd like to take part in it, please do. Just pause this video, get a piece of paper and a pen, and we shall begin. The grand total of, he said looking at his things, 65 questions, and they're in different categories. Question 1, I always like to get the worst things out of the way, so the first subject is sport. Question 1. How many Olympic rings are there on the Olympic flag? How many Olympic rings are on the Olympic flag? Question 2. Oh, by the way, please, if you need more time, just pause the video and come back. Question 2. Where, when you're doing archery, do you put arrows, particularly if they're on your back? Where would you put arrows if you're doing archery, if the arrows are on your back? Question 3. A biathlon involves which two sports? A biathlon involves which two sports? Question 4. Tom Daley is an Olympic athlete in which sport? Tom Daley is an Olympic athlete in which sport? Question 5. Celebs take part in winter sports in which TV programme? Well, which former TV programme? I don't think they'll be doing it ever again, judging by the amount of injuries that took part. So that's celebrities take part in Olympic sports in which TV programme? Question 6. Torvill Dean won the Olympic gold dancing to which piece of music? And that was in Sarajevo, by the way. Don't know if they got another gold medal, but hey ho. So Torvill Dean danced to which music to get their Olympic gold? Question 7. Terry Bollea is also known as who? Terry Bollea is also known as who? Question 8. Red polka dots on a jersey on the Tour de France denote which award? Who wears the red polka dotted jersey? Question 9. The Spice Girls. It's a sports round. Why not add the Spice Girls? The Spice Girls entered the 2012 Olympic ceremony on what? I know it's a tedious Olympics. Spice Girls, you know. Bear with me. And question 10. Tony Hawks is a what? And please be kind if you do know him personally. That concludes your sports round. You can now pause the video, go and get a drink from the bar, or well, you could if it was open, and generally we'll move on to round 2, which is called In Other Words. Just one moment. It's okay, they can come back to it, can pause it as much as they like. In other words, so I'm going to give you a word or a phrase or a name. You give me who or what else it's known as. For instance, if I was to say, have I actually got this as one of the questions? No, I don't. The Lady of the Lamp was also known as Florence Nightingale, that sort of thing. So, question number 1, in other words, Sir Percy Blakeney was also known by what other name? Sir Percy Blakeney was also known by what other name? Question 12. The fear of the number 13. By what other name does the fear of the number 13 go? Question 13. Ceylon. What other name did that country go by? Ceylon. Ceylon, however you want to pronounce it. Question 14. Harry Webb. By what other name did he go by? Harry Webb. Question 15. Peter Parker. By what other name was Peter Parker known? Question 16. One of my personal favourites. Lord Greystoke. Lord Greystoke. What other name was he known by? Question 17. Well, 7 in this round, you know. Starbursts. By what other name are starbursts known or have become known as? Question 18. Vlad Tepes. Vlad Tepes. By what other name does he go by? Question 19. This is probably the hardest question in the whole quiz, unless you're of a certain age. Eric Wimp. I'll give you a clue on this one. It's a cartoon character. And question 20. Belladonna. By what other name is Belladonna known? That concludes the second round. And my wife said I'm going too quickly. You've got a pause button. You can use it whenever you like. I'll still be here. The next round. TV. Did I do 10 or did I do... Yeah, I did 10 on this one as well. For TV. Question 1 on TV. 21 in total. PJ and Duncan appeared in which children's TV programme? PJ and Duncan appeared in which TV programme? Question 2. Terry Wogan narrated a children's TV programme. Is that true or false? If you don't know, flip a coin. Question 3. The TV quiz Teleaddicts was hosted by who? The TV quiz Teleaddicts was hosted by who? Question 24. El Dorado failed miserably as a soap opera, but in what year was it first shown? El Dorado was complete failure, but in which year was it first shown? Question 25. Who hosted The Weakest Link in the UK? Who hosted the UK's version of The Weakest Link? Turning the page. Question 26. Channel 5 first aired in 1996. Is that true or false? Channel 5 first aired in 1996. True or false? Question 27. A catchphrase. Which TV programme had this as a catchphrase? I've started so I'll finish. In which TV programme was the catchphrase, I've started so I'll finish? Or so I will finish, whatever you wanted. Question 28. Name a laddish channel that is also a boy's name. A laddish channel that is also a boy's name. Question 29. Core, it stinks in here, was the first line from which soap opera? Core, it stinks in here. And the last question on the TV round. How many Blue Peter badges are there that can be won? How many Blue Peter badges? How many different coloured Blue Peter badges? Would be another way of putting it. Next round. This one is called Anyone for Seconds. Most people remember the first, but can you remember the second? So, what is the second largest country in the world by area? That's landmass, by the way, not area including sea bits. The second largest country by area. Next question. The second highest mountain in the world. What is the second highest mountain in the world? Question 33. Which is the richest country based on its GDP, that's gross domestic product? What is the second richest country based on its GDP? Question 34. What was the second Indiana Jones film? What was the second Indiana Jones film? Question 35. What is the second longest river in the world? The second longest river. 36, one of my personal favourite questions on the whole quiz. Which is the second of the seven dwarfs alphabetically? What is the second dwarf alphabetically? Question 37. Who played the second Doctor of Doctor Who? Who was the second Doctor of Doctor Who? This is in chronological order of when they were shown, because if we get into the whole wibbly wobbly timey wimey of which order they came in, especially now with things going different. I like my Doctor Who. Question 38. What is the second commandment in the Bible? What is the second commandment in the Bible? New King James Version, probably. I'll assume they're all the same. Shouldn't really, but hey-ho. Question 39. The second Eurovision Song Contest winning country. Which country won the second Eurovision Song Contest. And the final question on Anyone for Seconds. Where did the second modern Olympic Games take place? I'll give you a clue. It was in 1900. So where did the Olympics take place in 1900, which would have made it the second of the modern Olympics? That concludes that round. Geography. Geography is the next round. Your first question. Where is Mount Rushmore? Which state is Mount Rushmore in, should I say? Which state? And this is always a really bad one. It needs cleaning. Sorry, I couldn't resist that one. Bad jokes. Comment down below if you don't want any more bad jokes. Question 42. Lusaka is the capital of which country? Lusaka is the capital of which country? Question 43. The prime meridian is measured from where? The prime meridian is measured from where? Question 44. Christ the Redeemer overlooks which city? The statue of Christ the Redeemer overlooks which city? Question 45. Angkor Wat is in which country? Angkor Wat is in which country? Question 46. What is green in Utah, yellow in China, and orange in South Africa? Or what can be, should I say? What can be, well actually what is. Yeah. What is green in Utah, yellow in China, and orange in South Africa? Question 47. Shinty people live in the Arctic. Is that true or false? Shinty people, that's S-H-I-N-T-Y, live in the Arctic. Is that true or false? Question 48. What is the name of the island that the Statue of Liberty stands on? What is the name of the island that the Statue of Liberty stands on? Question 49. He says, picking up the other bit of paper. Uluru is also known by what other name? Uluru is also known by what other name? Question 50. There, Stephanie's reading the answers on the floor. The smoke that thunders is a name given to which famous world landmark? The smoke that thunders. And I've been there and it's beautiful. 2 more categories to go, including a really bad one at the end. But, you know, you've earned it by staying with me this long. History is the next category. I just realised I've actually given you the answer to a previous question. There we go. Actually, it was a future question. Joan of Arc was the maid of where? Joan of Arc was the maid of where? Question 52. The Lady of the Lamp. Who was the Lady of the Lamp? And if you were listening to earlier in the video, you would know. Question 53. What started in Pudding Lane? What started in Pudding Lane? And yes, Stephanie does know that one. 54. What starts 407 years ago? What starts 407 years ago? Question 55. Name the divorced wives of Henry VIII. Named the divorce. So everyone knows divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. But which 2 were divorced? 56. How many years did Nelson Mandela spend in prison? How many years did Nelson Mandela spend in prison? I'll give you a point either way if you get that on that one, I think. Question 57. Where was Martin Luther King when he told everyone about his dream? Where was Martin Luther King when he told everyone about his dream? Question 58. Why is Laika famous? Why is Laika famous? That's L-A-I-K-A. Why is Laika or Laika famous? Question 59. When was the last hanging in England? Was it 1964, 1971 or 1982? Oh, and the final question: what year was the first email sent? The first. This is recognised by the Guinness Book of Records. When was the first email sent? And as I said, the last round is for a bit of pointless fun because this is the bad jokes round. Yes, I'm a dad. Yes, I know bad jokes. Question 61. What do you get if you cross an elephant with a kangaroo? What do you get if you cross an elephant with a kangaroo? Question 62. What do you get if you cross a cement mixer with lettuce and tomato? What do you get if you cross a cement mixer with lettuce and tomato? Question 63. And if nobody gets this, there is something wrong. Everyone should get this one. What time are most dentist appointments? Question 64. Who wrote the book The Haunted House? Who wrote the book Haunted House? And the final question of this quiz. Why did I get fired from the calendar making factory? Why did I get fired from the calendar making factory? That concludes your quiz. I shall now go through the answers. I hope you've had fun doing this. I certainly had. I've got a lot more respect for quizmasters because it takes a while to make these things, actually. Anyway, the answers. Question 1. How many Olympic rings are there? Steph, do you know this one?
5.
Come on, join me. You can host this for me because you've got the answers here. So the answers are on the side. So.
Right. Have you read?
Yeah.
Should I just read that again?
Yeah, you can read the question as well.
How many Olympic rings are there?
And the answer is
5.
Question 2.
Where do you put arrows in?
And the answer is
A
quiver.
A quiver?
Yep.
Okay.
Question
What
3.
does that say?
Biathlon.
A biathlon.
You might not actually be able to read my writing for half of this.
No.
So, a
Don't read
biathlon.
half the words.
Well, you tell me if you know the answers, and then we'll check. So
Okay.
I'll take that. So
Why?
no, you stay here though, just in case. Sorry about this. We're making up as we go along, really. The biathlon involves which two sports? The answers are skiing and shooting. Tom Daley is an Olympic what? Do you know this one,
He's a
Steph?
diver.
He's a what?
He's a diver.
He's a diver. Yes, she says. Look, you should look at the camera. Then everyone knows you're looking at the answers. The next question was. Celebrities take part in which in Olympic sports in which TV programme? It was Channel 4's The Jump. The Jump. Question 6. Torval and Dean danced to Bolero in Sarajevo to get their gold medals. Terry Bollea. Do you know this one, Steph?
No.
Terry Bollea is also known by who?
Hulk Hogan.
The wrestler Hulk Hogan. It's his Terry Bollea is his real name. Red polka dots. The red polka dot jersey is worn by the King of the Mountain in the Olympics, in the Tour de France. Yes, Tour de France, not Tour de Force. And the Spice Girls entered the Olympic Stadium on black taxis. And Tony Hawks is a professional skateboarder. So those are the answers to round 1,
Which is sport.
which was sport. We move on to In Other Words. Sir Percy Blakeney is the Scarlet Pimpernel. They seek him here, they seek him there, those Frenchies seek him everywhere. Is he in heaven or is he in hell, that damned elusive Pimpernel? A bit of highbrow culture there for you. The fear of the number 13, and do forgive my pronunciation, tristodecaphobia. Tristodecaphobia, or tristodecaphobia probably. Ceylon is now known as Sri Lanka. Harry Webb, probably most of you get this one right, was Cliff Richard, or is Cliff Richard, should I say. Peter Parker, for the younger ones, or the Marvel fans, is Spider-Man. Lord Greystoke is Tarzan. Starburst was the old name for what we now know as opal fruits. No, wrong way round. Opal fruits were what they used to be called, they're now called Starburst. Vlad Tepes was actually Count Dracula. Eric Wimp. If any of you got this one right, I will be very impressed. It is Banana Man, because when Eric eats a banana, an amazing transformation occurs. If you don't know it, look it up on YouTube. It's classic. And Belladonna is deadly nightshade, the plant deadly nightshade. That concludes In Other Words. We now move on
to TV.
Okay. PJ and Duncan, also known as Ant and Dec, appeared in Biker Grove. Terry Wogan did narrate a kids' TV programme called Stop It and Tidy Up. Again, YouTube probably has it. It is amusing because the villain in that is the big bad I Said No. Strongly recommended. TV quiz Teleaddicts was hosted by Noel Edmonds. El Dorado was first aired in 1992. And The Weakest Link was hosted by Anne Robinson. It's going to take a while to download this, so it probably won't be ready till tomorrow. 26. Channel 5 first aired in 96. It is false, it was 97. I've started down. He never got tongue-tied, old Magnus, but it was actually Magnus Magnuson usually in Mastermind. Now, Mr. Humphreys, I can't remember his first name, and I don't mean I'm free. 28, the laddish channel that is also a boy's name is Dave. And Core It Stinks in Here was the first words of EastEnders, I believe spoken by Dirty Den Watts. And how many Blue Peter badges are there? I'll let Stephanie answer this one.
There are 8. There are 8.
There are 8, including the gold and the silver ones. Next one, anyone for seconds. The second largest country by area is Canada, obviously Russia being number 1. Highest mountain is K2, and the highest mountain in the world
is what do you call it? It's Kilimanjaro. It's Mount Kilimanjaro.
It's not Kilimanjaro. It's
Why?
Everest. It's Mount Everest is the highest mountain in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? I thought it was.
No, Kilimanjaro.
You told me before that it's Kilimanjaro, and then it's Mount Everest.
No, that's in Africa. Kilimanjaro is
Oh,
the highest
did
one
you
in
say-
Africa.
did
Yeah.
you say-
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Domestic problems in the Samson household. Where did we get to? The second richest country by gross domestic product is China. USA is first and Japan is number 3. The second Indiana Jones film is The Temple of Doom. The second longest river is the Amazon, with the Nile of course being the first, and the Yangtze being number 3. The second dwarf alphabetically is Dopey. That's my favourite question in the whole quiz. I probably said that already. The second Doctor Who actor was Patrick Troughton. The second commandment is Thou shalt have no other idols, or words to that effect. The second Eurovision Song Contest winning country was the Netherlands. The Netherlands. I would never have got that one in a month of Sundays. And the second modern Olympics was held in Paris. Moving on to geography, wondering where the other answers are. There we go. Geography. Mount Rushmore is in the state of South Dakota. I've already done the joke, I don't need to do it again. Lusaka is the capital of Zambia. The prime meridian is measured from Greenwich. Christ the Redeemer overlooks Rio de Janeiro. Angkor Wat is in which country? It's in Cambodia. What is green in Utah, yellow in China, and orange in South Africa? They are rivers. Question 47. The Shinty people live in the Arctic? No, they do not. That is false. That's a load of bumpkus. 48. The island where the Statue of Liberty is actually on Liberty Island, which is a bit of a that thing. Uluru is Ayers Rock. The Smoke That Thunders, and I've been there, it's beautiful, I've probably already said that as well, is actually Victoria Falls in Zambia or Zimbabwe, depending on which part of the border you're on. The answers to history now. Joan of Arc was the Maid of Orleans. The Lady of the Lamp was Florence Nightingale. Pudding Lane was the start of the Great Fire of London. You knew that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. 7 years ago is the start of the Gettysburg Address from Abraham Lincoln. The two divorced wives of Henry are Catherine of Aragon and Anne of Cleves. How many years was Nelson Mandela in prison? He was in prison for 27, almost 3 decades. Martin Luther King was at Washington, D.C. when he told people about his dream. Laika is famous for being the first dog in space. We were having a discussion. I thought it was the first animal, but apparently there were fruit flies were the first animals.
Fruit flies were first, and then it was.
But
And
Laker,
then it was a dog, and then it was the monkeys, and then it was people.
Laker was definitely the first dog. And the last hanging in England was in 1964. And the first email was in 1971. So if they'd have put the hanging off for another 7 years, they could have actually sent an email about it, which is weird to think about when you think about it. And the finishing off, the bad jokes. What do you get if you cross an elephant with a kangaroo? Big holes all over Australia. What happens if you cross a cement mixer with a lettuce and a tomato? You get a salad that tosses itself. What time is the dentist appointment? Tooth hurty. Tooth hurty. Who wrote The Haunted House? Hugo First. Or any other comedy names. I'll let you be your own markers on that one. And why did I get fired from the calendar factory? Because I took days off. I hope you enjoyed that quiz. If enough people have enjoyed it, comment below. And if enough of you did enjoy it, I'll do another one. If you didn't, I'll probably still do another one, but less of you will watch it. Until then, we'll see you.
Bye.
See you on the next video.
Bye.